Can I help you?
Howdy, partner. You got a name? We've had problems, buddy.
Don't fucking touch me, that's all I'm gonna tell
Hey,
you.
partner, don't touch me. You understand me?
How you doing, sir?
All right,
Good, good. Doing all right today, my brother?
I'm doing good.
I'm Manuel, man. Detective Potter, okay?
How you doing?
Nice to meet you, my brother. What's your name, bro?
I don't want to give it.
That's cool. No big deal. Hey, listen. Right now I'm currently working for the Brooks Development Authority. Okay. And just to want to let you guys know that South New Braunfels is a city street. Everything back here, okay, other than South New Braunfels, is actually managed by the Brooks Development Authority. So they called me just to see if maybe I can ask you guys just to hang out in the corner over here by South New Braunfels.
Okay, so
And
this is not open to the public?
No, sir. This is actually the Brooks Development Authority, and because of that, it's considered private property, and that's why we patrol out here on private property.
Okay, but is it publicly accessible?
It is, sir. But
Okay.
this is managed by the Brooks Development Authority, and they've asked me just to stand over there in the corner. If you don't mind doing that for me, please.
Okay, I think we can do that. Okay, but my understanding is this is publicly accessible, and
Right.
it is open to the public,
Right.
and so the public can be here.
Right. And they've asked me, again, right now, I'm working off the job, and I'm actually working for Brooks right now. So they've asked me to do that. If I can just ask you guys just to hang out over there in the corner, they're perfectly fine with that. We got no problem with what you guys are doing.
Okay.
You know, if you can just do that for me, that is great. And that's all they're asking.
Okay, but again, though, if this is publicly
I
accessible,
understand, sir. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
where do you get the authority to ask me to move?
Because this here belongs to Brooke. Brooke manages all this, and that's why they're just asking me to
Okay,
do that.
I got that part.
I hear you, brother.
I got that part. Okay, but
We're
I'm
gonna
saying
go around in circles here, brother.
publicly accessible.
I hear you.
So you can't really trespass
Yeah,
me
back
from
here.
it.
Well, they're actually asking me just to have you just sit over. I mean, just hang out over there. That'd be great.
Okay.
If you can do that for me, that'd be great.
I think we can do that and be okay.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Because I haven't checked this
How
right
you
here.
doing, sir? Doing all right?
I'm doing good.
Good, good. I'm
Fill
check
me
the
in.
product.
There you go. Fill me in. What happened? What's the deal?
Well, they're saying that everything on this side of the road is private property.
Well, so here's this is what they're telling me, sir. So I'm working right now for the Brooks Development Authority, which actually manages the old Brooks, right?
Right.
So pretty much what they're saying is that South New Braunfels is a city street. Everything else, they actually manage it. So because of that, they're just asking if you guys can stand right there at the corner of New Braunfels and stuff. They're fine with that. We have no problem with that, you know. And so if you can do us that favor.
I have a question. That wouldn't be a problem. I have a question. It's a very important question.
Definitely, sir.
Who owns this? Now I know that they manage it.
The Brooks Development Authority.
They're the owners of it.
Yes, sir.
Not the city of San Antonio.
Well, it's the city of San Antonio. It's like an entity.
So, city of San Antonio owns the property. The management manages the property, and I know for a fact, and you might not know this, but they actually lease it from the city.
Right.
The properties, like these grass areas.
Absolutely.
So, for instance, if they wanted to put up a 3007 sign or a 3006 sign, well, that would be illegal because it's city property. And if you lease something from the city, you can't ban handguns, licensed handgun holders. And that would apply here. They couldn't say, well, this is sidewalk's private property, you got to get off of it, or, you know. So the sidewalk is fair game. That field over there wouldn't be. This is my understanding. That field over there wouldn't be fair game, but the sidewalks certainly are fair game. And
you did say it was a request.
A request, okay.
Yeah,
just a friendly request.
Yeah, sir. You know, like I said, I have no problem, sir, with what you guys are doing, man. I mean, you guys got to do what you guys got to do. You know, and I respect that, sir.
And
you know,
you're not under threat of trespass or arrest for
trespass. I was just requesting if you guys can, right, sir,
to kind of calm down what's going on.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. So here's the deal.
Yes, sir.
We had, and we're going to address this in just a second. And I'm
Okay,
glad
sir.
you're here, because I was going to call anyway.
Gotcha.
Y'all guys didn't show up because we have something to address. Actually, a criminal.
Yes, sir.
But before we get to that, they don't like filming. They don't like public photography. And we are journalists, and we are doing a story on Calumet.
Gotcha.
They probably have a hint as to what we're doing a story about, and they do not want us to do that story. It's not good for them. It'd be better if they just cleaned up their act. They're not going to do that, so we're going to come out and we're going to document what we find on camera. They don't want it. So it appears to us they're trying to use law enforcement to get us to stop, which they've tried 4 times in the past year.
Got it.
You guys have done exactly like you're supposed to do. You guys just did what the law says.
I hear you, sir.
They call you every single time. The last time we were out here was about a week ago.
Right.
We had one journalist out here with another one, you know, just like I am over there.
I hear you.
We had a gentleman come out of here and slap the camera out of his hands. Because he came out, they blocked the street. There was about 7 people rolled out of the building.
Right.
One guy gets out of the truck, stopped filming me. Our guy was standing right here, just like we are. He says, stop filming me. He's like, leave me alone. Stop filming me. And he gets about like this, and the guy's like that, and he just slaps the camera, knocks the battery off of it, the whole 9 yards. So we had a little bit of an assault, a little bit of criminal mischief because the cameras are broken. So that was the criminal matter I needed to address. But that's what's going on here. And I do respect your request.
Thank you, sir.
But we do need to do our story. And so
Careful, sir. I don't want to.
we're gonna, you know, I think I can't speak for the other gentleman here. I'm actually #1 on that story.
Gotcha, sir.
And I have some other journalists local that are also with me on that story. And we're going to continue to do our documentation, our gathering of information regarding that story. I would appreciate it. I would request
Yes, sir.
that if you could just let whoever needs to know that it is legal to film them. It is legal to be out on the sidewalk and film. And if we could just ask them to just, by all means, if they want to come out and talk and answer questions or have a conversation, we want that, right? But they probably won't. But if they do, they're more than welcome. We mean no harm. We just need to get our story done. And we know who to talk to get comments and stuff. But if they wanted to come out and have a civil conversation, then so we'll do that. But so we plan on just continuing to do our story. That's what we want to do.
Well,
With
thank you,
all
brother.
respect to you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, man. And like I said, we just want to, they asked us to do something. I'm just asking you if you can stand over there. That would help everybody else.
He might or he might. I won't. I'll just respectfully decline that request, and I'm just going to continue doing my story. Won't harass anybody. Just film. Of course, if they want to come out and talk, well, we'll talk. Okay, that's about where that goes. The other matter is we still need to get the identity. The other purpose of coming out here was one purpose was to get that story, more info on the story that we're doing. And then let's say, for instance, if they're not properly capping some things here that could explode under heat, right? It's cool right now, but in the summer that becomes an issue. So if we're filming things that should be capped, and without that cap they can blow, then we certainly want to catch it on camera, bring it to their attention, that kind of thing. Well, they don't want that. So that's just an example. Or maybe something's leaking that shouldn't be leaking. Maybe we told them, hey, that stuff's leaking, clean it up, and they just leave it there. That's kind of what our story, right? So we got that, and then the other thing is we have that assault and criminal mischief that occurred a week ago, and they don't have a case number because we had 7 people. 2 of them were con-headed. The other 5, they were coming. One of them blocked our guy from getting in the car. We were trying to leave and disengage. We didn't let him in the car, so we safely got out of the area. I called the officer that made the scene, and he gave me a case number. I have it at home. I don't have it on me. But I called him up and said, hey, it was us that was out there. If there's anything you need from us, and he said, no, they didn't allege anything criminal. They just don't want you guys out there. I said, all right, well, sorry you got called for, explaining what we were doing, and that it was left at that. And he asked me if I wanted to take care of the camera hitting. I'm like, no, I'll go back out there at a later date. I only got video of the guy. I don't have his name. And I'll go back out there at a later date and file that report. So if we're done with the whole filming thing, and we address the mischief and assault that occurred last week.
Yeah, did you make a report on that?
Like I said, we had to leave. We had 6 guys.
Did they get?
It's a dangerous situation. We needed to get out of there.
Right?
No, because we weren't here when the officer showed up.
So he also gave you a card with the report number.
He gave me the number on the phone. I don't know it, but we can look it up. I can tell you when we were out here. It was about this time, about 4 o'clock. It was all right here. You guys came.
You haven't gotten the report to see what the officer wrote or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't have the case number or nothing like that. It was just basically the same thing. They don't want us out here filming. Is what he told me over the phone. He's dealt with us before. He's handled 2 calls out at the refinery, and he knows who we are. He knows what we're doing. He knows everything about what we're doing. And he's like, man, they called again. My concern was that if they were alleging something occurred criminal, that he needs to know who we are so he can address that. But he didn't even need any names or nothing.
Yeah.
He knows who I am, so he has all that already.
Right.
Okay. But anyway, we need to get that. We need to get that report done for the criminal mischief.
Who got assaulted, or who had the camera? I guess
it was my journalist, and then I was present, witnessing the whole
So
thing.
the person affected is the journalist.
Yeah, actually, it was my camera. Yeah, it was my camera. So it's my property that guy destroyed. So I would like to file the criminal mischief report on the property, my property that he destroyed, and then he can do the assault. He just had a little bit of redness on his hand. Just kind of like that. But my camera's destroyed, not this one. So can we get a report done for the criminal mischief on the camera? I got
You can
receipts.
look up your original report number, and you can contact the property crimes detectives. That you can tell them that during that incident, that same incident, that happened, and if they want to include it in that report, they can do that for you at that time.
Okay, all right. I think it would be prudent to at least find out who the guy is in case he gets fired today or he quits, and then we never know who the guy is. I only got his face. I don't know who
How
he
are you
is.
going to do that?
We just go in and ask him. I haven't been trespassed on him, so I could go in there and ask him, but I wasn't going to go in there without police, considering the circumstances. Considering the propensity for violence, I wouldn't go in there without an officer and calling the police, and that way they understand why I'm here, to do a police report and to identify the suspect on the video.
So you have it all on video?
Yeah. We just don't have any names whatsoever because we had to take off for safety reasons.
And they came out to address your issues representing the company, right?
They stopped the truck right here. 2 guys got out of the truck. 5 came from that way. Said, stop filming. Stop filming. Get that camera out of my face.
So they have a customer relations department or H&R department or
you
corporate office
I
department?
called them and I said, I called them and I said, hey man, he's just a guy that I need to call the police. I need to file a police report. And I need to know who this guy is that slapped the camera. They hung up on me. 3 times they hung up on me.
Once you contact the property crimes unit and tell them this needs to be added to that incident because that happened during that incident, maybe the detectives can try to find a way to contact them to notify them, hey, this happened during that incident.
Do you know the name of the officer? I'm sorry. Do you know the name of the officer who actually? You said that he's dealt with you before.
I don't know the name of the officer who came out, but he said he knew me.
Yeah, but like
He said, "Are you those guys?" You know, we had a nice little cordial conversation. And he just said, "Are you those guys that were out at the refinery?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like 4 times this year." He goes, "Yeah, I've been out there twice." I would know his face. He had mentioned that we were out there. Matter of fact, a few months ago, he had mentioned that particular one. Hispanic guy, young guy, young slim Hispanic guy.
Yeah, if, like you were saying, if you can do that, if you can get the case number and just to see what was on there, you know what I mean, just to see what was written, you know what I mean, and if you know what was written, maybe he wrote that, you know, that somebody's camera got hit or whatever. I don't know if you mentioned it to him.
He said he did not. He said there was nothing criminal in that call.
Gotcha.
So and then he, you know, I told him what happened. He goes, as far as that whole hitting thing, did you need me to come out? Do you need me to meet you somewhere? And I just couldn't do it at that particular time.
So he asked you, and you declined to make a report.
At that time, I was not able to come back out. Yeah. So
if you change your mind now, it'll be.
Yes, I'm changing my mind.
It would be up to you to pursue it, contacting the Property Crimes Unit. Okay, have them track down that report for that day, that incident, at that time.
Because your name is going to be on the report, right? Or somebody's.
No, I mean, he never came out and identified us. I'm just saying this. I saw the guy here already. He came out. He was told to go back inside. Okay. I recognized him by face.
All right.
So he came out. He looked like he was ready to come out and say something. Somebody told him to go back inside.
Representative of the company, right?
As far as I know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
So
he could be a contractor.
His name, if you have him on video, you can address the issue through their.
I mean, he could be a contractor. He could be a visitor for all I know. He could be visiting again.
He came out representing the company.
And he's here. And I think it would be prudent to get his identity and take an information report and put him down as, I don't know, whatever you want to put him down as, but get his identity. He's here. Whereas if we don't, then you know, a month from now or 2 months. Normally it takes 1 to 2 months before a detective starts even looking at it. The guy's gone. Nobody knows who he is. And nobody can make him say anything.
The place, the trucks, the name of the company, and everything on your video before the incident, right?
Yeah. I mean, if one of the guys came out, if one of the guys came out and had slapped that camera off your chest and took off running, you couldn't catch him. And right now, I said that guy's in there. I saw him. You wouldn't say, well, we'll just tell the detective and we'll. Right?
When did this happen, sir?
I mean, right?
When did this happen?
Last week.
Last week. So it didn't happen today.
Certainly, if somebody slapped your camera, you're not going to just say,
take action immediately.
Right. But if you got away.
If somebody offers me to make a report on that same day, sure, I'll meet you, I'll talk to you, I'll tell you everything that happened, officer. Yeah. So we can be down on one report during the same incident with all the participants, so we can have the full story. But you chose not to pursue it. So the officer wrote, nothing really developed, nothing happened. Yeah, but you weren't even here when the officer contacted you.
So you're not interested in IDing the suspect?
This is all civil, okay?
Criminal mischief?
Because your damage was a civil aggression against your property, okay?
He slapped the camera, broke the camera. As far as I know, that's criminal mischief.
Right.
Criminal mischief is not a civil matter.
Which will be addressed through the property crimes detectives.
But criminal mischief is not a civil matter.
Just get your case number.
Right?
Yeah. And just get your case number, and if you get your case number, contact Property Crimes. Yeah. You know, and Property Crimes can take a look at it. You know, and then.
And if he slaps your camera and that happened and he got away and you couldn't get him that day, that's the same thing you'd be doing today, right?
It's different.
It's different because
I'm a peace officer and you're not.
Okay. So for me, it's like no big deal.
City equipment, and yours is personal. Right. See, there's certain variations on the whole thing.
I don't think so. I think at this point I would ask you to call I think at this point I would have to ask you, Mr. Andre, to call a supervisor out here and see if a supervisor is going to agree with you that criminal mischief is a civil matter.
Well, I did not say criminal mischief is a civil matter. I told you that the follow-up unit would be property crimes detectives that will look into your matter and determine the criminality in it. And if you see it, if they have enough reason to believe that they need to come and talk to them to figure out who personally was involved, or if the company is going to say, all right, how much was that camera there, as long as they can go away. You know, there's several variables, like I said.
But to make it clear, I'm telling you, I'm reporting to you that there is a man.
And I'm reporting you.
I said I'm reporting to you. Okay. There is a man on premises right now. I just saw him. And last week, he, without my consent, broke my $380 camera. And he's here right now.
Sir, do you know
And
what
I
he was
wanna-
wearing? What he was wearing today, sir?
Yes.
What was he wearing?
He had a blue shirt on.
Blue shirt
I
on.
couldn't tell what it said on it, but
Okay.
it's like a regular work shirt. The white guy, blonde hair.
Okay.
A white guy with a blue shirt. That's what we got.
And I'm sure you can walk in there and say, hey, the guy
We could do that.
that made
Nothing wrong with
contact with our journalist
We can do
last week, do you have a name for him?
We'll go ask, but
I'm
that doesn't
100%
mean they're
sure.
gonna release the information to us. Even
I
if
don't
we
think they're
ask,
gonna
right?
be. I don't think they're gonna be uncooperative with law enforcement.
We can go and ask.
We could do that. We got no problem doing that. Do you mind? Do you mind just waiting here while we go check it out real quick?
Get your body cams running.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Who's gonna ask the
It's been
question?
running the whole time.
Who's gonna ask the question? For
I
them?
can ask it.
You got
You
reason.
can ask.
I can ask it.
So, Fada, 2100.
Yes, sir.
Are you gonna sign a consent for me to get that body cam footage of you handling this call? So when the city says it's exempt,
I can't.
I
I
can
can't
get
tell
your
you what the
consent?
city. I can't tell you what the city's going to do.
if I can't go in there and film it, or at least be present to see that you're actually asking them and how they're responding, I'd want that body cam footage. And the city has a habit of not releasing the body cam footage, but if the officer says you can have it, then I can have it. Would you have a problem?
I can't do that, sir. It's up to the city what they want to do, sir.
If
We
the
work for
city
the city.
if the city attorney asked you, Mr. Potter, will you sign a release to give you your body cam footage for that particular call to him? Would you have a
We
problem
can't
with
do
that?
that because this camera is not ours. It's
Oh,
not
we've
our
done it.
personal property.
But we've done it
It's a
before.
city property.
But I've done it before, and the officer was good, and he said, yeah, no
If
problem.
you did it before, then you know the channels and the process of doing it.
I'm just covering it with you. I'm just asking you now if you're gonna say yes or no. If you were
I
asked that
can't
question.
say yes or no because I don't have a city attorney with me. I don't have a supervisor with me. I don't have
Would you
anybody
object?
who makes that determination.
Well, I just asked for a supervisor to come out. If you need a supervisor to
I
help you
don't
make
need a
that
supervisor.
decision.
You're the one who was mentioning that you
I'm just
needed
asking
a supervisor.
if I
already
can
told
have-
you the process of going about getting your camera issue investigated would be through the property crimes detectives.
Okay, I'm just asking if I can have access to the footage of this encounter. That
And I
you're
already
having.
answered your question.
You can't answer. You didn't answer. You said you can't answer.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that was my answer.
You said you don't have a supervisor here. You can't answer. I don't have a supervisor here, but we're not going to call one to help you answer the question. And I will quote you.
Yeah.
That is a civil matter. When I told you that he broke the camera, you said that's a civil matter. Did you make a mistake when you said that? Because that's not a civil
I
matter.
made a mistake.
Okay, that's no problem. We all make mistakes, and I'm okay
Right.
with that. Thank you.
So the
That's okay.
follow-up
We're
people
good.
who will investigate
We're
that
good with
matter
that.
for you would be the property crimes detectives.
No problem.
To
No
see
problem.
if there's any criminality involved and
Okay.
see if you can get reimbursed for whatever damages.
Okay,
you
that
suffered.
was my only issue was the whole civil matter, but if you made
Okay.
a mistake, I'm good with that. We are human. We make
Right.
mistakes. That's
Absolutely,
not a problem. Okay. So can we at least attempt to try to get that
Yeah,
guy?
we will.
Okay. Thank you. We'll wait.
I'll-
Okay, we'll wait. We can, if you want to make it easier, we can go up front over to where.
We'll
If you could
walk
just
around
stay- if
that
you could
way.
just stay-
We'll walk
if you
around
could
that
stay
way
up
and
front,
walk
if you
up
could
front.
do me a
How's
favor,
that?
Stay on New Braunfels, and that would be great. I'll go in there. I'll talk
I'll
to
tell
them.
you what, it's a mutual thing. I love good officers, okay? And so far, you guys have been pretty good.
Well, thank you, brother.
And good officers get nothing but cooperation. So
Thank you, sir.
For the purpose of cooperating with you, you want me to go over there, I will go over there.
You're the man, sir.
If you can,
Thank you,
if
sir.
you can do me a favor,
Appreciate you.
please try to identify
Manuel.
this guy.
No
Whoever it
problem.
was
Yes,
that reached up and
Manuel.
he may say he tried to grab the camera. I say he slapped it. It doesn't matter. Whoever.
And
whoever-
preserve the camera. If you
Yes,
if you have the camera,
absolutely,
preserve
yes,
it.
Yes, sir.
You know, and then the footage too, so that way it can be reviewed.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And I'll go in there and I'll talk to you
appreciate
and see if they
Thank you.
see what information they
And we'll
give.
just wait over there and then get a case number
Maybe
afterwards.
they even have the case number themselves. That
They
can
might.
give it to us.
Yeah, I would appreciate it. Thank
Okay.
you very
We'll,
much.
we'll actually move around to the front of the building by the driveway. Make it real easy
If
for
you
you.
can just, if you can.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's right over there. Yeah.
That'd be great. And if anybody comes out, just tell them you already talked to us, and you're good on New Braunfels.
All right.
Okay, great.
Walk up and down, film all you want, guys.
All right.
I don't
All right.
think they want to.
All right, and I'll be out talking to you right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, we're not going to go on the top. We're not about that. We're really not about breaking the law.
We don't stir them up again.
Main reason was a follow-up to see if they've learned their lesson.
Is it dinner time yet?
It took us a while to get somebody to come out and all that good stuff. Okay, so here's the deal, sir. I got the name of the person who I guess is heading it or what have you, right? And so I'm gonna go ahead and give that. So it was your camera, right? Okay. What is your name, sir?
Jack.
Jack.
78219. Date of birth is 6/28/72.
2872.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Sounds good, bro. So I'm gonna give you this, and this is what they're telling me, okay? And they're saying, hey, if he takes his camera to anywhere, they said take your camera anywhere, and have whoever you take the camera to contact that individual, and that individual, when he gets the camera repair is going to be X amount, right? What they'll do, brother. Thank you, my brother. So what they'll do, they said at that point, they will go ahead and pay that company for all the repairs. Right. They're willing to do that.
Okay.
They're willing to do that,
right.
which is great, you know. And if that doesn't happen, brother, you know, just we'll look at it.
Honestly, man, humans make mistakes. The guy, as far as I'm concerned, the guy made a mistake, and it resulted in some property damage. I think the property damage needs to be addressed, needs to be and fixed, compensated for that property damage.
That's what they want to do.
Right, and then as far as the mistake, I don't think he'll ever do that again.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that they're adjusting that.
And